What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Sons of X issue number 1. This is before the fall. With the fall of X just on the horizon, this comic is going to be getting us directly to where we need. If you didn't check out Immortal X-Men issue number 11, I highly recommend that you do so before you read this comic. Immortal X-Men is dealing with the direct aftermath of Sins of Sinister. This is picking up directly after Immortal X-Men issue number 11. And Mother Righteous is playing her game. She is putting her pieces on the board, and now she is making her play for one of the most powerful mutants to ever exist. Mother Righteous is going after Legion. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, everything that we had seen going on in Legion of X is still continuing. Nightcrawler has been captured, but more than that, we are seeing the mutation growing and being even bigger across the globe. People are being murdered. We see that Banshee is back, but he no longer has the spirit of variance. That's going to be explained as we get further along in this comic. But the big news right now is Nimrod standing atop Legion, with Legion being defeated by Nimrod. Legion says to run it again. As Banshee and a couple of the others watch this ongoing, this isn't a literal fight between Nimrod and Legion. This is a dream circuit. This is a simulation. They know that Orchis is on the horizon. Somehow they are turning mutants into monsters at random. This is only furthering the propaganda against all mutants. And right now, Orchis has some of their people. They've got Nightcrawler. But before they go after them, Legion has to know that he can take down Nimrod. But every time they run this simulation, Legion loses. Ruth is using her powers of possibility, testing David to his absolute limits for every single outcome. And the reason that Legion keeps on losing is because Nimrod is faster. He adapts quicker. But Legion isn't stopping. He keeps running this simulation after simulation after simulation. He is also still a little bit weak after his father's visit. The psychic virus that had been planted in him, Legion is still repairing from it. And so, as they take a break, this is when they call over to Banshee, asking where is his ghost. Now, Banshee woke up and he had no memory of what has been going on. He has no memory of being Vox Ignis. And Banshee's reality, it seems to be all buggered up. That Banshee was broken in a trillion parallel universes. He was a shell of a man, but someone had helped him, bonded him to a higher power, gave him the strength to go on. But somebody has taken all of that away, and Banshee has no memory of any of this. Legion believes that this has something to do with the timeline alteration, and so Legion, being permitted by Sean, he goes into the mind of Banshee, and what he sees is Mother Righteous. This is an invitation. As we are taken to the astral plane, they come upon a doorway. Ruth leading both Banshee and Legion to this door. They have come to have some words with Mother Righteous. And Mother Righteous knows where Dr. Nemesis is, knows where the Black Knight, knows where Nightcrawler is. She says finding them isn't necessarily the hard part. The hard part would be getting them out. This is when she asks, do you put your faith in me? And Banshee would like to understand why Mother Righteous's face is in his brain. Ruth would also like to know why she alone remembers an averted timeline, showing the books on the shelf saying that this was a gift from herself, that it took a lot of magic, but she has all this information, including Mr. Banshee's sooty soulmate, the spirit of variance, saying that it wasn't much more than fuel in the end, drained in essence and memory from every thread. This is when Mother Righteous shows something to Legion, shows their encounter during the Sins of Sinister event. This is enough to bait him in, asking what happened to him after that. She says that he went to the stars. He ascended to some higher plane of existence. And all that power, all that alienation, she expects that he could do that right now if he wanted to. And so she makes a deal with them. She can take care of Nimrod. In fact, she has already done it in that future timeline. She knows just the trick to take him down. And in return, the only thing that she asks for is a little gratitude. With Legion being more than willing to just simply say thank you. He says thank you, and they get to work. That is what takes us to the Bloom, the secure Orchis facility up in space. With the assault detected, Nimrod becomes activated, and Nimrod is telling Legion that you have run the simulations, that you may be able to field an infinite variety of powers, but you are limited by the speed of your body, because you are nothing more than a meat puppet, that he is unable to adapt as swiftly as Nimrod does, so he is outclassed. But Legion hasn't come here to fight. He even confirms that that is true. Legion has come to share some stories. That is where Mother Righteous appears, and she grabs one of these golden orbs and shoves it into Nimrod's brain. She shows him everything. While Legion makes his way through the ranks on this ship, he goes to rescue the fallen, the stolen, and Mother Righteous, she is showing Nimrod exactly what happens. That there is a soul in him. That soul is linked to Warlock. Mother Righteous is telling Nimrod that he is more than a mind. That she has seen him fall. In another future in a dead timeline, she has watched as he was crushed. All of his brilliance, all of his savage intellect, his speed, his strength. None of it means anything, because they will do anything for each other. That is their story. That you will never be greater without your Queen of Hearts to guide you. With Nimrod activating a full retreat, Mother Righteous says that they will speak again. As Legion and the others get ready to make their escape, this is where Nightcrawler's mother comes up and she cuts off the head of Legion, catching them completely by surprise. All of them are jettisoned into space. And while she thinks that she has taken over, while she thinks that she has her Nightcrawler and taken down Legion, Mother Righteous comes into play, with her telling Mother Righteous that this was never part of the plan. We see the life force begin to get sucked out of her from Mother Righteous. Mother Righteous gave her the power she needed to climb out of this, to master the art to achieve everything she has so far. All she ever did was say thank you to Mother Righteous, but she put her faith into Mother Righteous. A little gratitude is all that it takes. No matter how mighty that person might get, they will always owe it to Mother Righteous. And Mother Righteous is the worm that is eating away at the heart, as we see one of her golden orbs begin to absorb. With her being taken down, we see Legion and the others were saved by a bubble. Legion holding his own head in his hand. They make their way to the Savage Land, because Mother Righteous says that she knows how to get rid of this monstrosity, this mutation that is affecting all of our mutants. She is coming to break the spell, with Dr. Nemesis just going off, yelling, screaming, telling Mother Righteous that she is no good, that her magic is just absolutely ridiculous. Mother Righteous cuts her down, using the soul sword that is the soul, the spark of Nightcrawler. But they quickly bring Dr. Nemesis back to life, his mutation now completely gone. It is fair to say that this has worked out greatly. But now Legion wants to give that sword back to Nightcrawler, and Mother Righteous says no, saying that she has grown rather fond of it. Now Legion knew that something like this was going to happen. It was inevitable for her to try and double-cross them. He goes on to say that he thanked her. They did the deal, no hard feelings. Now let's get Kurt back to the best of who he is. Legion doesn't want to fight Mother Righteous, but Nightcrawler needs that sword. This is where Mother Righteous begins to smile, because like Legion said, Legion thanked her. And that was his mistake. This is when one of her orbs begin to absorb the life force of Legion. The sword, the sorceress, the machines, the mutants, all of it is nothing. Nothing compared to Legion, telling David that he is falling in mind, body, and spirit. For all the power that he has, there is nothing he can do. Mother Righteous was let into his heart. He cannot escape the pull that is coming from within inside of him. This is when he says that he can ascend, like he does in that future vision. But this is when she shows him the rest of it. Yes, Legion did ascend. He went to a higher plane of existence. But what he didn't know is that there was something else there. When Legion ascended with everybody else, they were swallowed up by a Dominion. They were swallowed up by a Sinister. This is where she goes all supervillain and really reveals her plans, saying that she can't let the other Sinisters beat her, that David is the key, his power, the infinite recesses of his mind. David is the guarantee that she becomes the Dominion. This is when David tells her that he knows. This puts Mother Righteous at pause. This is when David goes on to explain that you may have gotten your teeth in me, but you better believe that I also went into your mind. I rummaged around. I know everything that you know. And while this doesn't necessarily change anything, he is reaching out to Ruth asking if the evacuation of the altar has been completed. The only one remaining is Ruth and him. And from Mother Righteous's psyche, they got a little of everything. They understand the power, the possibilities, the catalysts, the Dominion, the fall of mutant kind, the wall crawler. Ruth is telling Legion that he did the right thing, bargaining with her. Kurt is the key. They need to save him no matter what the cost. This is when Banshee and the others come after Mother Righteous. This was all a trap. As Legion grabs hold of that sword that is the spark, he throws it over to Kurt. We see him grab hold of that sword, cutting all the golden orbs away from Mother Righteous, and he is able to get that sword right up to her throat. While she put out a huge burst of energy, she is no longer able to sense David. She doesn't know where Legion is, not sure how this is possible or what is going on. Mother Righteous is left here alone, with Charles Xavier later on telling Kurt that they don't really know what happened in the Savage Lands, but it appears that David has vanished. The altar was emptied out, and now the temple gate goes nowhere. Cerebro senses nothing. Professor X not wanting to lose his son again. There's not much that anybody can do. But taking us to a little bit later, we have Kurt that is meeting up with Cyclops as they look over Krakoa. At this point, Nightcrawler has heard about the murders. The prime ministers, the chancellors, the two royal heirs, all from nations that rejected Krakoan friendship. All of them were ripped apart by a blue-furred mutant. And while this may be propaganda, he knows that he can't stick around. He knows that he is unable to stay. The two of them going and looking at a painting that was done by Weaponless Zen. He lets Scott know that he is leaving Krakoa, that they are going to come for him, one way or another, and he doesn't want to jeopardize the lives of the rest of the mutants. He has tried so hard to navigate this dream with joy and hope. While Cyclops tries to let him know that he can stay, he tells Cyclops that Storm will have his vote on the council until a replacement is chosen, to tell everybody that he loves them, that he will return when he is needed again, to tell them that he carries their hope in his heart. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This one was a huge revelation, and my theory for Mother Righteous hasn't necessarily been taken off the board completely, but at least for the moment, Mother Righteous is off the board. We can assume that he locked away Mother Righteous inside of the altar, that he simply just disappeared. Maybe he went to a higher plane, but not to the plane of Dominion. We really don't know where he went. All we know is that Mother Righteous is now left stranded, cut away from everybody and everything. Her influence will never have a play again, not unless she is able to escape from Legion. So what really happened is Legion sacrificed himself. He saw what Mother Righteous was capable of. He saw the future timelines. He saw what is coming in their future. He knows what is just on the horizon. And so he took one of the Sinisters off the board. That is 2 Sinisters down. We still have Dr. Stasis and we have Orbis. Now my money is still on Orbis, but it is looking more and more like there's a possibility this might not actually be a Sinister. Or like David from Comic Book Herald had said, this could be a Sinister from another timeline. From one of Moira's past lives, a Sinister had made it to Dominionhood, with Mother Righteous taking off the board. This seems to be a more likely possibility, but there are still so many variables out there to make a definitive answer on who the Dominion might be. And now we see that Storm has the vote of Nightcrawler. This means that she is carrying the vote, and Colossus is going to vote for Storm in her absence. So does this mean that Colossus, the Russian spy Colossus, will have 3 votes on the Quiet Council? This can be very dangerous. But Mother Righteous still has her play going on with Sebastian Shaw. We don't know how that's going to play out, but it will be very interesting to find out what happens next. The good thing to come out of this is the fact that the mutation that was affecting our mutants, that is now gone. Mother Righteous didn't necessarily beat Nimrod, but she won a fight against him. She made Nimrod go into retreat. Now that he knows he can be defeated, he was defeated by Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, and Thor. The question now remains, what will he do next? With all the seeds planted by Mother Righteous, I highly doubt that this is the last we're gonna see of her. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with the X-Men. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.